You're listening to WGBB, Long Island's oldest radio station. I'm Brad Nellis.
And I am Scott Honickman.
And this is Nonsense News with a Nation. Your news with a comedic twist.
Coming up in just a few minutes.
What do you get when you cross a Denny's with some punk rock? If you guessed a mosh pit with a side of fries, you'd be spot on.
Santa's saved the day on the LARR track.
The Australian Prime Minister leaves burning koalas behind in his home country for a holiday in Hawaii.
A man switches genders just for a day to help out his mom.
A demolishing company destroys the wrong home for a second time.
And you have a shot at being on the new Lord of the Rings series on Amazon. All of this and much, much more coming up on Nonsense News Nation, your news with a comedic twist.
Come on, I had one more good teaser. Can I just say it?
Go for it, Brandon.
Plot twist: this 29-year-old doesn't belong in a high school.
Oh, that story.
Yeah, it's a doozy.
I didn't mean to cut you off there. But thank you for listening, everybody. We're here on this beautiful Saturday.
This better be beautiful because, unfortunately, this is the last show we're ever going to do for 2019.
That's right. We are going through 2020, everybody. We're not going anywhere. But as from 2019, we're gone.
And to celebrate, we wanted to make this a very big, epic show. And one Brandon Ellis does not suffice for that. So we're bringing in a Justin Ellis, my sweet, dear older brother by 2 minutes, by 120 seconds. Justin, he's here in the studio. How you doing today?
I can see how old.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. It's a pleasure to be here.
Welcome back to the studio,
for
Justin.
The final show. We're never going back to 2019 ever again to do Nonsense News Nation. So this is big. Make this count, Justin. We're depending on you.
Do not mess up.
Speaking of not messing up, I hope this first story will be a good one and not a bad one. So we're going to go on to our first segment of the show. National news, where we go around the country and see which weird stuff we could find. And lucky for you, I got a good one. So Scott, not Brandon, Justin, the holidays are almost upon us. It's a time for family, friends, and the spirit of giving. And one of the best gifts I could ever think is the gift of music. It seems that a teenager from Orange County, California agrees with me. So I decided to give the gift... No, excuse me, I didn't do this. I wish. He decided to give the gift of music to a local Denny's in the form of a glorious punk rock venue. I mean, now going back to myself. I don't normally go to Denny's, but if I heard that mosh pits and sick guitar riffs were on the menu, I would have been a regular. I would go all the time. I would consume with my ears as opposed to my mouth.
You know what's really funny? Just to interrupt you real quick. This event, because I was reading into this too, was called the Grand Slam. This thing, and it was also Grand Slam is also an item on the menu. So
they're probably getting sued, but that's a story for another day. So the junior rocker, a Mr. Bryson Del Val, rented out the back room of the Denny's, as one normally does if they're having a party, a little get-together, and they can't afford, like...
A little bar mitzvah.
They can't afford McDonald's, so they go to Denny's instead. That's all they have. So little did Denny's know that they weren't providing the party, but rather the party was coming to them. Right when the gig started, the room was practically bursting at the seams. The room had a 50-person capacity, and it already was well exceeding that. It became something beyond what Denny's should have ever been.
It looked like that episode, the first episode of SpongeBob with the sardines packed in.
Exactly. The entire room was practically one epic mosh pit. Kids pushed through the emergency exits just to get to the gig. I'm pretty sure that's illegal, but punk rock, you know,
there are no rules.
Exactly.
In punk rock and hardcore music.
The Denny's lights from the ceilings became punching bags for the young punk rockers. The entire time, the pit was going super hard to the point where fireworks were even shot off. Wow. And as you'd expect from fireworks being shot off at a Denny's, the restaurant took a nasty hit. We knew that Del Val could rock, but now he needed to roll out $1,800 in damages.
Yes.
The band later set up a GoFundMe campaign to pay for their musical crimes and easily hit they easily hit, I think, about 1,000. A Once Their Tale of Woe hit viral. Can you confirm that? You were also
I was
into that
also
story.
researching the story. Yeah, $1,000 roughly.
Right. Yeah, Scott, you're onto something. This wasn't the first time that punk rock hit a Denny's. All the way back in 2013, there was like this video went viral. It's called like 2 a.m. at Denny's. We have a clip right here of what it sounded like. Let's take a look. And if you actually, I'll wait for them to stop performing here. Enjoy the music, kids. Beautiful. Like Mozart's Fifth, but
He said
a lot
something
heavier.
else, but you did edit it out.
I did edit it out. I made sure.
I love that video.
Yeah, so you see like a lot of these like 14-year-olds flailing about. It wasn't as epic as Wacko or the band inspired by Wacko. Again, personally don't know.
It's okay.
It's a Wacko story. That's the only thing I know from that.
I'm just thinking of
But
Wacko from Animaniacs.
I'm thinking of
That's
like
his name.
a killer clown named Wacko.
So
So-
when is Denny's going to invite another punk band? Seems like a pretty...
Well,
It seems
actually,
pretty
I'll
popular.
take over from here if you don't mind, real quick. The unnamed Denny's manager said that, excuse me, they did not expect this show to happen, and
No.
they released a press statement saying that Denny's is a family restaurant, and that musical performances such as hardcore bands are not welcome. So I don't think it's going to happen again
It's
anytime
a shame,
soon.
Scott.
I know it happened twice. They didn't want to get fooled again.
He rented
so-
out they rented out a room.
Yes.
They didn't know they weren't the wiser. But the story about the 2013
the
Denny's
Grand Slam
Grand
Festival.
Slam.
It was at one Denny's where they welcomed they put
No,
on
they were
event.
they're closing down shop permanently, and they had like maybe a day or two more.
Yeah.
So they said, "Hey, since let's end Denny's with a bang.
The
Can I
hardcore
bring
show."
my punk rock band at 2 a.m. to perform?" And personally, I think it was a lot funnier back in 2013 when you had like a few kids flailing around rather than
That's-
like actual damage hitting a Denny's.
Props to Denny's for helping keep the music scene alive.
And props for Scott for bringing us to our next story. I can't wait. This better be a good one.
Oh, Brandon, you're gonna love this one.
I always do. I have no standards.
I have a beautiful Christmas tale to tell this holiday season. It is a tale of hero versus villain, of Santa versus stabber. Last weekend, SantaCon took place in the city, a tradition in which men dress up as Santa Claus and go bar hopping while spreading holiday cheer. Now, all over Manhattan, Santas were making people feel wholesome and joyous, except at Penn Station. At an LIRR terminal, two men got into an altercation that led to a stabbing. Sensing this horrific act of violence, a gang of Santas charged the attacker and tackled him to the ground.
You know, Santa could sense if you're naughty or nice. He should have already known that he was on the naughty list.
He
but
beat the man to death with a piece of coal, with a stocking full of coal. Someone has been very naughty this season.
It's what you asked for this Christmas.
The elves also joined in and stabbed the guy.
You should just get the elves to do it.
Santa Claus, he is filling our stockings with gifts by night and filling our streets with justice by day.
You know, the good thing about him is like if he like fights criminals and he gets all bloody, his suit's already red.
So you
no
can't
one would be the
tell.
wiser.
When
He could
will-
still hug a kid, and the kid's like, "Santa, some of your red is on my on my coat," and he's just like,
Oh,
"No,
I'm sorry,
that's
I
just
just
some
got it
paint
painted."
from a toy." Ho ho ho! He doesn't know.
When
it's
are we
blood.
getting our next Santa MCU movie?
Yeah, I think Santa's a
Phase
worthy
5, right?
superhero. He's the new Punisher.
They're going to replace the Enterprise on Star Trek with Santa's sleigh.
He fights with Nerf guns.
I wish
You know, as a Jew, you said like good versus evil. I thought Santa was evil for a second. I thought that was the twist.
Santa's not evil. Santa's a beautiful
Really?
man.
Did he come to your home when you were 4? Did you wait out? Did you look outside every Christmas?
My parents
like I
told me
did and
Santa
waited for
hated me
Santa?
because I'm Jewish. But I got Hanukkah Harry to come.
Hanukkah Harry didn't even come to me.
Hanukkah Harry comes every Hanukkah, once every night. All 8 nights to deliver me.
Well, Hanukkah Harry.
Gifts.
You know what? Forget Santa. Hanukkah Harry has been He does it 8 days and 8 nights.
I
Santa
know,
does
he's
it for
working
one night.
overtime for
Maybe if
us.
Santa lost weight, he could do it for 8 nights, but like,
I saw Santa at Planet Fitness. He was benching his own sled.
he's working to be the new Hanukkah Harry. He's done with Christmas.
He's his biggest competitor.
They already got Jesus. He should have been the mascot of the holiday, but whatever. I digress.
You digress. And you're digressing directly into your next story, Brandon.
Really, do you have another national story?
I did.
Then I plead the fifth, and I let you go to your next story.
Well, as I was saying, I did have another national story.
Oh, it
but
was Denny's,
It was
right?
Denny's.
All right.
We did the same story without communicating.
Exactly.
But that's
So,
okay.
That's all right, because we still got a good international story. That brings us to our next segment, where we're going to go around the world. Forget America. Forget it. Forgotten. Red, white, and what? I don't even know. 50-50 what's? The declaration of what? Doesn't matter.
The Constellation?
So, what country are we in right now? If you could tell by the safari-type music.
I feel like we're in Australia.
I think we are. Let's see what's around. I see
I see a
burning
dingo.
koala bears. I see roaring fires. Hold on, I don't see the prime minister. That's interesting. Let's talk about that. So, but before I do that, I'm going to pose just a hypothetical question. Listeners, you can answer it. I probably won't respond, but you can answer if you want to. Scott, Justin, you can answer it.
We do not take calls.
No. You can slide in my DMs if you really want on Instagram. That's how the kids do it now.
Oh, man.
So if you're the leader of a nation, and said nation is facing utter turmoil and disaster, what do? I'll give you a moment to think this one through.
If you're the Prime Minister of Nonsense News Nation, you don't go anywhere.
Exactly. You don't go anywhere. You stay and fight to the bitter end. But if your answer was something similar to take a trip to Hawaii, you're either a moron or the Prime Minister of Australia, Scott Morrison. Mr. Scott Morrison, not to be confused with Scott Honigman of the award-winning radio show Nonsense News Nation, took his happy little holiday to Hawaii at a time where his Sydney is getting the worst sunburn of its life, getting scorched by countless wildfires, and having their national treasure, the koala bear, make it on the critically endangered list.
No.
All the
He's
koalas.
like,
Oh no.
He took his
they're
copy
not
of
bears
National
anyway.
Treasure.
They're not even real bears. I don't care. Maybe in Hawaii there's real bears. That's why he went.
Not even the little stupid bears.
That's why I went to Hawaii. So the Australian and his family were chilling, sipping on coconut juice on the tropical Hawaiian beaches. That's what he was doing instead. It took the death of 2 brave firefighters to get the Prime Minister out of his happy place. And Fine, I'll do it myself. And cut his holiday short. He said in a statement that it's unfortunate that his holiday came at a very unfortunate time. And that he scheduled the trip when he did, because if he had it in January, he would have to cancel a meeting with 2 foreign leaders or something like that. Some malarkey like that, as Joe Biden would say, because he says malarkey.
That's malarkey.
He did apologize for offending anyone, but the damage is already done. He's going to get a heap of coal this holiday, as if his country didn't already have enough burnt stuff in it.
The gang of Santas in New York City are going to go to Australia.
Gang of
Jumping.
Santas, heed my prayer. The Australian Prime Minister has been very naughty. Take him out of Hawaii and take him out of his misery.
Jeez.
And avenge the koala bears. They're not Ghost Rider. They don't belong in flames. Save the koala bears.
Thanks for the PSA, Brandon. Speaking of a PSA,
Oh, learning.
I have a public service announcement for all of you with parents. We all love our parents, and we like to believe that we'd do anything we can for them.
I apologize if Batman is listening right now. I realize you don't have parents, and you could sulk about that, but this is for everyone who does have
Well, he
parents.
did
Continue.
have parents at some point in his life.
Had past tense.
He has
could've,
Alfred.
would've.
He has Alfred now. Better than any
Daddy.
parent.
Oh, gold.
Heavens, no.
No.
That's exactly the mindset, of a 43-year-old of the... I'm
Spit
just
it
thinking
out.
Alfred. of 43-year-old Haiter Shahav of Brazil.
Full shizzle, my brizzle.
You guys got me thinking of Alfred now. This 43-year-old man was arrested on Friday after dressing up like his mom and trying to take her driving test for her. He wore fake nails, makeup, a floral dress, and a wig to look as much like his mother as possible. This dress-up act may fool some, but unfortunately for our friend Hater, it did not fool the driving instructor. She promptly called the police and had him arrested for misuse of someone's identity. Maybe someone who can't pass their driving test in the first place should not get a license.
Listen, we all know this is clearly Alfred. You're British. You don't even belong in that country. What can I say? Batman needs you. Batman's crying about his parents, and you should be with him. I don't know why. Dude, you have a Batmobile. You don't need a driving test. I'm sorry, you got Alfred in my mind too. I thought I went off topic.
Alfred cleans the toilets that Batman uses. That's a funny thought. Oh, Master Wayne. Oh.
Robin did it. Robin laid an egg in there.
Sounded like Daryl.
From Walking Dead. Hey man, hey Alfred.
Jeez. Speaking of laughing, we're gonna laugh all the way to the next story.
Okay, so we're gonna go to, I'm guessing, the next segment, because we can always do, we could do local news, but there usually is nothing, so we're gonna skip right to fails.
We've been skipping local.
There's
news
always a lot of
lately.
failures
the
in
New York
society.
City, the Santa one is kind of a local. It's in the city.
Nah, but this is Merrick, New York, so sort of. So for my fail, I'm going to tell you this. If I have learned anything from the billions of Christmas songs that play on the radio after Thanksgiving, it's that some people are naughty and others are nice. We know that nice people get presents, love, and overall nice things. But what do the naughty people get? Well, I'll tell you what they get. They get a broken down, demolished house. Go fit that in your stockings.
Santa personally demolished it himself.
He threw coal at it and exploded.
He threw grenades at him.
The gang of Santas from SantaCon. So, in actual news, Detroit's largest demolition program is facing suspension for a second time after they tore down the wrong home. Again. Fun fact, they literally did the same thing to another home. The wrong home 18 months ago.
Oh my, could you imagine your house as the victim?
Not again. I hope no one was in there. The Adamo Group, that's her name, was given a whopping $58.6 million to not be idiots and demolish the right facilities since 2014. The company received a violation notice under their Christmas tree, and the contractor has 7 days to make an appeal. Or he could just admit that he was a doo-doo head. There's no telling how long their suspension would be. Adamo was suspended for 90 days the last time they had a foolish fail like this, so 90, 100 days, give or take, maybe.
They should be suspended forever. I want to hear the houses at court. I want them to talk about how they feel.
They
about
can't
being
speak
demolished.
right now. A wrecking ball hit into their face.
That could
Wait,
hurt.
there were people inside the house? that
No,
was
there
destroyed?
wasn't.
Oh my god.
I'm speaking hyperbole. It's my first language. English is my second. As you
Wow,
can
those
tell.
are good odds if you destroy a house, two houses by
Yeah,
accident, and no one is killed. Or no
They were at work.
there. Well, I'd hope so.
Could have been like a stray cat
I
coming
hope
in.
they were anywhere else but home.
So here's hoping they follow instructions better as their New Year's resolution. So we're gonna go on quickly to our spastic sports story, and this is a pretty good one. Hope you enjoy this
Oh, we
one.
have a sports story.
Yeah. So when we think of the holiday of Hanukkah, as the Jews say, the thought of miracles come to mind. Speaking of miracles, it's a miracle that Canada's Catholic Central High basketball team had a 29-year-old man that passed for an 11th grader and got away with it for as long as he did. The 6'9", 205-pound 11th grader is a South Sudanese immigrant.
He's not an 11th grader. He's 29 years old.
Then why is he in Miss Jill's class? Explain that. who came to the U.S. on a student visa and found his way on the ball court
Thought you
and
said
made it.
he's Canadian.
He went to Canada. He's from South Sudan or whatever. So he made a name for himself on the ball court. The coach even told him that he had a chance to play in the NBA. He's pretty good for being in 11th grade. Just like how when I was a camp counselor, I was very good at basketball when I was playing with 7-year-olds. So I don't know if I had a chance of the NBA like this man right here.
How do you fool people?
I'll tell you. So everything seemed perfect until the high school prodigy applied for a travel visa for the U.S. He provided fingerprints for the application, the same prints that were used back in 2015 when he applied for entry in the U.S. In his previous application, listen to this, he listed his birth year as 1986. Normal, right? While his recent application listed it as 1998. In the spirit of Hanukkah, let's hope for a miracle that he can make it to the 12th grade at Catholic Central High in Canada.
All right, we'll quickly transition now to entertainment news for your entertainment.
One more
Do the
Hanukkah
final
gift.
story
I know
here.
we're supposed to be 8, but we're going to give you one.
We're gonna give you an extra one for the holidays here. I'd like to dedicate this next story to my dear friend sitting directly across from me, Mr. Brandon
I
Ellis.
thought it was Invisible Joe sitting right next to me, but I'm honored.
That's Justin. You are the biggest Lord of the Rings fan that I know, so I'm sure you'll appreciate this story. Did you know, Brandon, that Amazon Video is going to be releasing a brand new Lord of the Rings original series?
Well, of course. I talk like this, and that makes me a nerd.
And not only that, they're looking for extras to pay for orcs. Or to play orcs, excuse me. Now, if you're interested in this casting call, you have to meet some criteria. And I'm sorry
Okay.
to say this,
What do I have
but
to do? Just tell me, what do I have to
you
do?
do not meet any of
No.
the criteria here.
Malarkey.
You
What do I have to
cannot-
do?
According to the casting directors, you have to have some facial disfigurement to
Done.
be an orc. You have to be under 5 feet tall or above 6 feet tall.
Okay.
You have to have natural
Surgery
red.
to do that.
You have to have natural red or orange hair or white hair. So I meet one criteria. And you have to have a wrinkly face. So none of these apply to you or Justin,
It's for old, decrepit people. What, gray hair,
unless what are
being
you,
under
6 feet
5
tall?
feet, wrinkles. They want my grandpa to be... Come on, I could run around and go...
They should get your dad Wayne. Wayne should play a. No, he's a good-looking man.
He's no orc.
People of all ages
The
and
Balrog.
ethnicities are welcome to try out, and Amazon is calling this its most ambitious.
How many
media-
ethnicities have orange, red hair? That's malarkey.
Clowns can participate.
The Joker will be participating.
Now I got these scars. You see, I'm an orc. So, I think it's been a great holiday. It's been a great year, but we have to close off forever for
Thank
2019.
you so much for listening,
Thank you.
everybody.
It's
We've
been
had
an
a
honor.
great time this year.
Right, it's been a ride. If you want to be a sponsor on the show, be a guest on the show, you can contact us at nonsensenewsradio.com, at gmail.com. Excuse me, Gmail's important. That's nonsensenewsradio@gmail.com. We are on TuneIn, Spotify, iHeartRadio, the YouTubes, Facebook, whatever. Look us up, Nonsense News Nation. We are out there. We got a website, nonsensenewsnation.com. We'll see you next year. Happy holidays.
Happy holidays, everybody.
Peace.
Peace.